name's Owen, and I'm the Dungeon Master of our Return of the Giants 5th edition homebrew campaign.
Hi, I'm Ali. I'm playing Lyra, the Eladrin Spore Druid, and she is just a little bit obsessed with mushrooms.
Hi, my name's Simon. I'm playing the character of Ember. I'm a wildfire druid who's on a quest to be the very best there ever was.
Hi, I'm Dave, and I'm playing Harry Harrington, the Harrengon, the roguish merchant with the heart of gold.
My name is Christian. I'm playing Bartholomew, the romantic dancing Owlin, Paladin of devotion.
Hi, my name is Matt, and I'll be playing Niles Silverwind, the Owlin, Way of the Sympathy Monk.
Hey guys, I'm Jared. I play the character of Threign, the boisterous frost giant, the Goliath, path of the giant Barbarian.
Hello there, lovely listener. This is just a warning to let you know that this episode of Return of the Giants may contain adult language or adult themes. Hello! Welcome back, everybody. Welcome back to the Lost Archives. It is wonderful to see all of your gorgeous faces once again. We are here. We are playing Return of the Giants, the premier D&D homebrew adventure that you can catch right here live on Twitch, 6:30 p.m. Australian Eastern Standard Time. Wow, probably closer to 7, to be honest, now that we're live. 7 p.m. Australian Eastern Standard Time. Live on Twitch on Wednesdays and coming out on YouTube and the podcast now every single Monday. That's right, we've had a little bit of a change to the schedule for Avatar and for Return of the Giants. Avatar is now going to be streaming on a Tuesday night rather than a Thursday, which means the Avatar episodes will come out on a Friday, and I'm going to move the Return of the Giants episodes to a Monday. So if you're watching this on YouTube or listening on the podcast, it's a Monday, most likely, unless you're listening to this in the future. But if you're listening to this when it's just come out, it's a Monday. And it's very strange. I didn't forget to upload. This is the new upload schedule. I've chucked it up in the Discord. It's there. I think I fixed it up on Twitch. It's all there. It's all correct. I might make a post on YouTube explaining the new thing as well. Actually, that makes a lot of sense. I'll do that. Hopefully be a post by then as well. So thank you so much for being so patient with the changeover of schedule, and I hope you've all had a wonderful Christmas and a very happy New Year. Thank you everybody who caught up on the Subnautica playthrough over the Christmas break. I had loads of fun playing through Subnautica and Below Zero. I am so hyped for Subnautica 2. It's going to be fantastic. I definitely want to do a playthrough with another person, do like a 2-player playthrough, because it is multiplayer, so that'll be really fun. I don't think we've been given an exact release date yet, so keep our eyes peeled for that. But we do have an exact release date for another game I'm very excited to play through called Aloft, which is like a cozy survival game, a little bit like Raft, but set on Sky Island, survival crafting. The demo is out, you can play it now. I had a bit of a play around in the demo. It's so much fun. Early access starts tomorrow. So I will be getting that game in early access 100% and playing through that. I think it's one that you can kind of do solo and with groups of people as well. So I might see if anyone from the stream team's keen to come and join. In the meantime, though, because we've had a bit of a break between the Subnautica episodes and between when Aloft starts, I have recorded a full playthrough of Firewatch, which is a really, really cool story-driven narrative game. I can see Dave nodding. You've played it, Dave? He's muted.
Yeah, no, it was on Games Pass for a bit there, and
got to be a Games Pass reference. We're back, everybody. You know it's 2020.
I went into it blind, and because I'd seen all everyone's like wallpapers of the Watchtower, so I was like, yeah, I'll give this a go. And
gorgeous.
Man, that was addictive. It was great.
The intro, the opening like 5 minutes is one of the most emotional 5 minutes in any. It's one of the most emotional moments in any piece of media I've consumed. Like it's so beautifully set up. The artwork is stunning. The voice acting, the narrative, and the environmental build is so well done. So it only took me 3 episodes, each going for an hour, so 3 and a bit hours to play through the whole thing. That'll be up already if you're watching this recorded. For those of you watching live, it'll be up in the next couple of days. Each of those episodes dropping in between our off days to help keep you guys entertained and give you something fun to do in your downtime. In terms of other fun announcements, I think that's pretty much the main things that we need to go through. Any other fun announcements from anyone before we do our recap?
I've been playing Moonstone Island.
Oh yeah, tell me about Moonstone Island.
It's a little game that came out maybe 4 months ago, and I wishlisted it. It was on sale, picked it up. It's a mix between Stardew Valley, something like Core Keeper, with deck building elements and monster collecting.
Okay, that's ticking a lot of boxes.
So yeah, no, it's got a bit of everything. I was reading up about it, and like a lot of the headwinds of mashing the genres together were like in the pre-release there, but then over time they've really like streamlined a lot of it. So
Interesting.
like originally the original release, there's a shop owner in classical Stardew Valley, like 9 to 5, but the shop owner is also like the PC in Pokemon where your monsters or spirits in this game are stored. And in the original release, like when the shopkeeper wasn't there, you couldn't do anything. You couldn't get your monsters. But they they changed it and they made additions and they figure out workarounds that still fit within the story that didn't feel like kind of cheesed or forced, and it's just like a seamless transition between all of them. It's
I might need to check this out. It sounds great.
Yeah.
It's very up my alley.
I'm also very hyped for Pokemon AZ. I keep seeing things pop up about it because obviously Nintendo's suffering. Like so in terms of
that?
So it's Legends, Legends Arceus.
Yes.
It's the next Legends and it's set in like black and white. Black and white? Yeah, black and white.
Oh.
Oh no, X and Y City, sorry, X and Y City, the Paris-based one. Mega Evolution is back, baby! Mega Evolution's back and it looks really good. I'm pretty excited. I think it's coming out around the same time as the Switch 2, which again has been leaked to the extremes. Like if a ship was as leaky as Nintendo to be at the bottom of the fucking sea, like it's incredible how much information gets out. Very funny. And how like close they try to play it to their chests, and everyone's like, no, we know your entire schedule's been up on Reddit for 3 months. Like we know. Yeah, it looks interesting. I'm pretty psyched for that because I really enjoyed Legends Arceus. That was a great one to play through.
Oh wow. Yes,
Right?
you're right. So the new adventure awaits within Lumio City.
Lumios, that's the name. Yeah. So there's been lots of people trying to figure out, is it set in the future? Is it set in the past? Because obviously Legends Arceus was set like far distant past. I reckon this one.
Yeah.
I don't know. It's hard to say. I think this one might not be set in any specific time era. Oh yeah, Ali.
It's funny you mention that because I think what's been happening is as they update 3D models to the various Pokemon and like sort of outfits and stuff, they add it into Pokemon Go. And so you'll sort of see like the character models will be completely different, but then like you'll see fashion options and whatnot sort of added in. I'm like, so I think they've sort of maybe not leaked, but sort of, released early the maybe like the starting outfit or something.
Yeah, wow.
That's cool. But yeah, I'll be excited for that, and for the Switch too, because I'll be honest, I don't have a single functional Joy-Con anymore that has not been afflicted by drift. I've got third-party ones from, I think it's Nixie or something, and they've been great, but I don't have motion control on my Switch. It's just not when I'm detached. Like it's just. So I'll be excited for a Switch 2. That'll be good.
I will say, like, just to further talk about what Ali and I were just talking about before we went live. I've fallen down the rabbit hole that is Balatro. Man, that game is good. It's so fun. It's
I've seen the ads for it, but I'm like, they're trying to make me do it, so I'm turned away because anytime I see heavy advertising for something, I'm like, nah, not doing it.
For anyone who doesn't know, it's essentially like it's a roguelite, but it's poker based, like card building, sort of deck building sort of elements. So it's kind of like you score points by playing like the poker hands essentially. So you go straights, flush, royal flush. You do pairs. You can do single high cards, like whatever it might be, and you get points based on that. But then you get jokers between rounds, between the small blind, the big blind, and like the boss blind. And they're like each joker you get is like can give you a power up. So it can be like you might get like a multiplier. You might get like something that gives you more chips. And so you have to go through like the antes, and there's like 8 antes, and when you get to the end, you win. And then you go up the difficulty, and then it gets harder and harder and harder. But it's very, very, very fun.
Is there
different decks you can play around with?
Is there an in-game cash shop?
No.
No.
Okay, I'm on board again.
It was a nominee for the Game of the Year, and there's a whole controversy about how the Peggy board listed it as 18 plus. Because it uses poker hands. And they exist in the game.
That's tough.
Yeah, no, it's a good article to read. The creator is like super humble about it. He's not. Yeah. He's annoyed and he's like seriously? Upset about it. But he was saying like, I don't mind this rating if there were other games such as FIFA. Yeah. That was like also following these kind of guidelines.
Yeah, I mean, look at the loot boxes and everything else, like everything EA's come up with in the last like 10 years. Come on, it's just gambling. It's illegal casinos. Don't get me started. I could rant about that.
It's really good, and like I think everything that's come out for it, like you can customize your King, Queen, Jacks to like Witcher characters or Among Us characters.
That's pretty good.
And it's all free. Like you don't pay anything for that. It's more just customizable within the game if that's how you want to play. But yeah, there's there's 150 jokers and varying like rarities. So you get like common, uncommon, rare, and then I think legendaries. I think there's like 5 legendary jokers. And you there's no guarantee that you unlock certain things, and it's great. It's really fun.
I'll have to check this out.
If you want to know something that will destroy you, it's available on mobile.
It is on mobile too.
I figured it was. Yeah. Well, look, I'm color me interested.
You can have it with you all the time.
That doesn't sound great though. That sounds problematic for me.
It's a little addictive.
Yeah, that sounds problematic for me. I'm already struggling to find the motivation to do anything that's not this. So I think okay. No, maybe I'll like have a little bit of play on the computer, but I won't put it on my phone. That's the safest way to go.
Probably a good point.
Goodness me, we should probably do our intro and get into the session. We've got a whole.
I have no idea where we were.
That's okay. I've got a full recap to get you guys up and running, and we ended on a bit of a cliffhanger, so I will definitely do the full recap. The Tempest Adventuring Guild, a name now legendary across the lands of Nostea, is taking on the threat posed by the return of the giants to Nostea. Lyra, Niles, Harry, Ember, Threign, and newcomer Bartholomew are exploring the vast caverns of the Underdark, drawn below by rumours of stone giants taking over territory after forming some strange alliance with the Duergar. Having made their way through the treacherous terrain of the Underdark, befriending the deep gnomes of Blindenstone on the way, the party have infiltrated the remnants of the lost stone giant city of Tontenur, the City of Stone Teeth, and defeated Obsidian Foot, a Duergar abusing giant magic and behind the stone giant aggression. Arriving at the centre of Tontenur, the team stepped out to confront Obsidian Foot and the stone giants. Standing before them was the desiccated corpse of Elder Hunmar, and riding on his shoulders was Obsidian Foot, animating the corpse with infernal magic, flanked by a number of giant warriors still under the influence of his magic. The party leapt into battle, some powerful spellcasting and smiting quickly destroying the corpse of Elder Hunmar and starting to awaken the giants from the Duergar's influence. While Ember focused on maintaining his wall of fire and trying to win the giants over to his side, Bart, Lyra, and Niles unleashed their most brutal attacks on Obsidian Foot, his form rapidly becoming more and more demonic in appearance. Taking advantage of the chaos, Harry rushed over to the interface linked to the power supply and placed his Heartstone against it, allowing his patron Figment to take control. The party watched on as the metal coating Harry's hands slowly crept up to cover his entire arm, before an explosion of light and power was unleashed in the centre of the dais. Bart used this momentary distraction and powerful radiant energy to destroy Obsidian Foot's form, the burning flesh giving way to a wretched and broken soul that the Devil Vice immediately collected. Offering Bart a soul coin and promising that he would see the party very shortly, Vice departed for the Nine Hells with Obsidian Foot's soul in tow. With the Duergar defeated, the spell holding the giants finally broke, freeing them from the control of the corrupted Heartstones. Speaking with the giants, the group learned a little more about the history of their kind and their absence from the world, having been banished to the Astral Sea in the distant past following the death of Anam. The group quickly realized that the fight was not yet over though, the Duergar encampment still housing slaves taken by the Deep Dwarves. Accompanied by the stone giant Elikia, the group sped over to the Duergar district, finding the area severely damaged after the giants' attack. To the group's surprise, a contingent of Svirfneblin rushed out from the central tower, led by their friend Gook. After a quick catch-up, the team carried on through the city in search of Threign, finally locating him now in a small town circle surrounded by the bodies of fallen Duergar. Heading further down towards the forge halls, situated on the edge of the lava lake, the team debated how best to approach the mighty furnaces. With the view from the spiraling pathway down revealing the site strangely quiet, the party attempted a slow and sneaky approach, hoping to make their way to the site unseen and surprise any enemies still lurking there. This did not go according to plan, the party struggling to maintain any level of stealth and making quite a bit of noise. Arriving at the base of the forge halls, the group suddenly heard a voice call out from behind some makeshift barricades, revealed to be a Duergar priestess. Emerging from behind these walls, the priestess appeared tattooed with glowing symbols, which Lyra realized indicated enchantment placed upon them. Revealing the death of Obsidian Foot at the hands of the party, the priestess welcomed them into the barricades with open arms, her order having been in opposition to him and the despotic rule he exerted over the Duergar. Behind the walls, the party found a number of haggard deep dwarves, deep gnomes, and other ex-slaves from the forge halls, having sought shelter after the attack of the stone giants. While Bart caught up with Flick, the deep gnome partner of Gook, Niles, Harry, and Lyra spoke a bit further with Priestess Braelia, learning that Nyx had rushed down to the forge right after the attack and had taken all of the completed armor and weapons made from the giant alloy. After spending some time healing up the injured defenders, Harry spotted a Behir approaching the forge halls. Thankfully, though, this one was under the command of the stone giants, Elakir calling it off before speaking with the party once again. With the city now fully under stone giant control, the group suggested Elakir reach out to the storm giants, specifically to Sin Mare and Loki, to inform them of their status and secure transport to the surface for the team. Inspired by this idea, Lyra decided to try and reach out through her Heartstone to contact Loki herself. However, something seemed to go wrong. Lyra instead feeling this vast network of minds suddenly connect with hers and a voice speak through the connection.
I see you.
And that is where we left off last session.
Yeah, that's right.
Oh, that's scary.
We
So
are going
scary.
to jump straight back in right where we left off with Lyra. Lyra, as soon as you feel this connection, I'll describe that sensation again because I think it is important to refresh your memory. As you reached out for Loki, holding the image of him in your mind as the stone giant Elakir had taught you, you feel the pulse of the Heartstone within your hand and allow the energy to wash over you, to almost fill you up. The sensation of sort of this warmth rising throughout your body. And as you then direct the energies forming within you towards this image of Loki, instead you find yourself adrift. This sense of quiet and calm and peace wash over you as a network of minds joined together into this vast consciousness suddenly touches the edge of yours. As your consciousness brushes this mind, this collection of minds, there's this sudden sense of shifting, of moving, of speed and directionality as your mind is pulled towards this network. And as it is held in place, that is when you hear the voice call out,
I see you.
Lyra, what do you do?
I'm not sure if, like, if she can sort of like talk to the others on the outside, but it's really is a split between two sort of reactions. The first one is like she's just gonna sort of yell out loud if she can, guys, Loki's scary. But then
Niles,
the other
Harry,
sort of
Ember,
she's
Bart,
like,
you hear nothing. Lyra just seems to be close her eyes. There's this peaceful expression, a slight smile on her lips as she closes her eyes. You can see her breathing is slowed. She seems relaxed. There is no call. You hear no voice from her lips.
And it's not like she'd even be in a moment of silence that we would reach out, because we're all trying this at the same time.
All of
So
you are
we're all
trying
having
this at
like
the
a,
exact same time.
a small little meditation moment, so none of us would be aware.
Yeah.
Oh dear.
I don't see you. Like, she's sort of trying to speak into like the mind network. Not sure if the others could hear or not. I can't see you. I can hear you. Who are you?
We are one. We are the network.
Wait, like an arm?
We know
Or-
not this name. We are the roots. We are the trees. We are the leaves. We are the spores upon the wind. We are one.
Have you? I mean, I guess you've been here for a long time. Do you predate the giants, or did the network come with the giants?
There's a sense of confusion, Lyra. His voice does
The
not
others
know
on
of
the
what you
network.
speak.
Is there anyone else on the network? Can you talk to others?
We are one. There is no self. There is only us.
That sounds lonely. Are you physical, or are you just in the network?
We grow. We live. We die.
Do you hunger?
Yes. We hunger. We thirst.
Do you go by any other names?
We have no need of names, but we are sometimes called Sovereign.
Yeah, not where you thought that was going, did you?
Well, now she's doubly sure that she is fully convinced that this is probably a nom, and he's just forgotten himself. Like, she's like, it's Giant Ted. Someone named a Sovereign.
Lyra, as you're kind of like thinking this through, there's a presence in your mind, a presence you've always been aware of. Well, not always. A presence you've been aware of since you came back from the Feywilds. Your companion, your symbiotic entity, Swampy. And that sense of identity, this feeling that Swampy has its own mind, is starting to grow, has been changing and shifting since your encounter with the Myconid. Swampy's been different, more complete, more alive.
I was going to say, isn't Sovereign the title for a Myconid leader?
Yes, it is.
Yeah.
I was just going to say, it just clicked.
Yeah.
Yes, it is.
Are you like me, maybe? And they're like, I'm not sure if she can send spores down the network, but she's gonna try.
You're not. There's nothing physical here. This is all happening kind of in your mind as you concentrate.
More the intention, I think, like just kind of like, reaching out for a connection on sort of potential common ground. Like,
Okay. Could you make me? I'm going to say that this falls under your specific branch of magic. Could I have a spellcasting check, please? So, as if it was a spell attack. D20 plus your proficiency plus your spellcasting modifier.
I'm just gonna roll it as this.
I think Twitch chat want me to say this, so I will.
That we are Venom.
Is that what we wanted? Is that what we needed?
Yeah.
That's a 9, Lyra. As you go to try and force this connection, you go to try and delve deep within the magic of the spores that you've been kind of drawing upon for a while now. There's a barrier there. There's nothing there to direct the magic at. This is all happening within your mind, and you struggle to find any focus for your magic. But as the spell begins to build within you, as the weave begins to bend itself around you, exerting this force as controlled by your will, you feel this vibration from Swampy. Harry, Ember, Bart, Niles, you watch as Swampy begins to grow onto Lyra's back. First an arm reaching up and grabbing her shoulder, and then you watch as Swampy pulls itself up, rising above Lyra, and then reaching down, placing a hand on either side of her head and cradling it in these long tendril-like fingers. Much like the last time you saw Swampy, it's no longer this amorphous, featureless blob of lichen, of moss, of mycelium.
Okay.
Swampy looks far more humanoid, and is resembling
We'll have my
Lyra
blade at
more and
the
more
ready.
as time
I'm
goes
gonna
on.
have sword at the ready just to attack Swampy, as this thing is literally like holding her skull, and I don't feel comfortable about it.
I should clarify. I should clarify. It's a very gentle, almost like when like a parent might do with a child when they're feeling a bit sick or they're feeling a bit upset, like they might like reach down and hold their head very gently, the hands kind of curled around. It's a very like a gentle. I guess there's a creepiness to it because Swampy inherently looks a bit creepy. It's like one tendril reaches around and like just touches the edge of her lip. Like it is a bit creepy.
Does Swampy just appear out of nowhere?
You watch the Swampy
sort of springs
grows. Yeah, so normally when you summon Swampy Lyra, he kind of grows from your back, right? Or it kind of grows from your back. Yeah, exactly the same. So
sort of in the same way, like a shadow, like the contact with the ground and sort of up and out.
It just kind of like apparates behind you and.
It's very much. I mean, I don't want to. The comparison's there. It's a lot like a stand in JoJo's, where like it suddenly emerges right behind her. I mean, I don't have to
Not
reach
like
too far. I don't know. I think you are a JoJo's character.
The stand user could be anyone.
Actually, you know what? I am going to turn to
Ember, kill it with fire. Yeah.
I was going to turn to Ember. You're a druid. What's going on?
Honestly, I don't know. This is a little bit odd. I've never seen Swampy act like this, and I'm not quite too sure.
Telling
To be
me that
honest,
Flicker can't do this for you, Ember, if you ask him really nicely?
I mean, he could stand on my back and cradle my face, but he's not going to grow like 3 sizes larger. So,
well, not until he
a little bit
evolves.
odd.
You need a Firestone for that.
Yeah.
Give him time. Give him time. No,
Let him cook. Literally, let him cook.
Should-
Should we do something about this, or just let it happen? I'm a bit unsure.
Ember,
I'm
do
not
you
sure.
want to make me a nature or I'm gonna say nature or arcana check to see what you know about other druid circles, or like what you know about Lyra's magic? Because you are a fellow druid.
Well-
You've spent a bit of time with her.
And Ember's also a Firbolg, right? So Firbolg have speech with beast and leaf.
They do. 13,
Oh,
Ember.
Yeah.
You know that Swampy is a manifested part of Lyra's powers, part of her a manifested part of her connection to this mycelium-based druid craft. It's not a circle that you've seen before. This is, as far as you're aware, Lyra is the first Circle of Spores druid on Nostea. It's certainly not a circle that have regular meetings and catch up with the wildfire. But you know it's a part of her magic, and I mean, she has always been in full control of Swampy. It's always been an aspect of her magic that is defensive to protect her. The fact that it's appearing now might seem to indicate Lyra's in some form of danger. That's when you've seen Swampy.
Shit.
When Lyra has summoned Swampy, it's been because she's in danger.
Well, turn to the rest of the team and be like, I mean, from my experience with Swampy, he's only really tried to help Lyra. So, I mean, seeing him here and doing what he's doing, maybe something is wrong and we can't tell? I'm not too sure, to be dead honest.
I'm going to take a step towards Lyra, and I'm happy that I saved them, actually, and I've got just the perfect amount. I'm going to softly place my palm on, I guess, like her chest, her lower chest, and burst my last 5 points of lay on hands to try to remove a negative condition. I don't know what's afflicting her, but if Swampy's here, our other druid has said that
100%.
something's bad. I don't know.
No, absolutely. As the healing magic washes through you, Bard, pulses through Lyra's chest, as soon as you hold your hand out, you watch as Swampy's head like immediately cracks down and looks at you, one of the hands coming free from Lyra's face and raising up defensively. But as you summon healing magic to your hand and place it upon Lyra's chest, you watch as Swampy slowly looks away and places the hand back over Lyra's face once again, seeing and recognizing you're not a threat. Lyra, back inside your mind, as you feel that connection with Swampy, feel that bond with this symbiotic entity, there's another mind next to yours, with yours. You can feel it. Thoughts move through it slowly, like water trickling over moss. But they are there. Swampy is thinking. Swampy is alive, much more than you thought. And this connection that you've suddenly created with this thing, this entity calling itself Sovereign, Swampy is feeding on that and growing.
If she can, she might sort of like mentally sort of reach towards Swampy and just sort of try and give it sort of like just some feelings of gratitude. It's like, hey, you know, thanks for having my back all this time. Like, you know, first time actually being able to like sort of talk to you kind of thing. Well, not so in as many words, but
It's slow,
and then
gradual, but a sense of acknowledgement, a sense of satisfaction, and a protectiveness comes back from Swampy.
can I sort of probe Swampy just a little bit and just sort of see if it reacts sort of positively or negatively to the thought of what if I invite the Sovereign over here somehow? Like, you know, it probably is lonely. It's all on its own. Like, I've been on my own. It's not fun. You know, just drifting aimlessly.
Fear, Lyra. Fear and concern. A sense of worry. Trepidation from Swampy. And as you turn your attention away from the entity, turn your attention to Swampy, as if turning your back upon an enemy, pain begins to spear through you as you feel your mind break and twist under the probing of these minds. They try to reach in, push, and steal Swampy from you. Could you roll me a wisdom saving throw, please, Lyra?
What?
Oh.
Asshole.
Some mushrooms are parasitic. 23. All mushrooms are technically kind of a bit parasitic, but some fungi specifically feed on other fungi. 23, Lyra. That'll do.
Damn.
In that sudden moment of distraction as you focus on Swampy, as pain begins to drive through these tendrils of almost thought, but sharpened and painful as they dig into you, like mycelium growing through your skin, pushing through your veins, trying to reach your heart and your mind. There's a pulse from Swampy, and as you feel yourself recede back, falling, a hand reaches around, reaching for you, Swampy's hand in your mind, but doesn't take your hand. Swampy grabs you, growing rapidly in size, and as Swampy turns towards the entity, you hear, "Little sovereign mine." And with that, the connection breaks and severs the mind, shattering as they pull away. Back up for Harry, Ember, Bart, and Niles. You watch as Swampy, in a sudden surge, grows over Lyra completely. No longer rising from her shoulders, but dropping down as Lyra pulls up and is now lying on Swampy's back, seemingly unconscious as Swampy forms a fully bipedal version of itself, rising up and turning. You watch as a mouth opens and you hear, "Mine." As this pulse of healing goes through, it's almost exactly at the time when Bart does that pulse of healing. As you see Swampy suddenly pull Lyra, as if Lyra suddenly absorbed into Swampy and pushed onto Swampy's back. Swampy suddenly emerges. And then just as soon as it happens, you watch as Swampy shifts and shrinks back in Lyra. You open your eyes coming to as you kind of land bodily on the floor, landing on your knees. This momentary sense of confusion settling in as you hear Swampy. Feel it settling into your skin, seeping through your pores once again. "Little sovereign safe."
Thank you, Swampy. Like, just sort of sending a little bit of gratitude, like, you know,
You say that out loud, or do you say that
out loud, probably, like, in sort of like trying to sort of pat Swampy, but you know, it's already gone, so she's just patting herself on the shoulder at this point.
Could you talk before?
No, and before we go any further, I am putting an embargo on stone-based communication.
No, that's fair enough. Yeah, what the fuck was that? Sorry.
Was? Do you mean is? As I'm going to look at Swampy, still a separate organism now.
Slowly, yeah. So you see Swampy slowly sinking back into Lyra as this happens. No, never fully detached. So Swampy never detached from Lyra. What happened was you watched as Swampy overgrew Lyra, and then Lyra was kind of pulled up onto the back of Swampy. Normally Swampy emerges from Lyra's back. In this moment, it kind of looked like Lyra was emerging from Swampy's back, as it kind of.
Would his whole body had to have like rotated around for him?
He grew through her, so Lyra kind of like pulled around and rotated. Yeah. He grew over.
So she was face down in his back.
Yeah. So for a moment there was only Swampy as he fully overtook. As Swampy fully overtook Lyra. I shouldn't say he. As it fully overtook Lyra, growing across her at an instant, and then Lyra suddenly sort of emerged on its back as Swampy kind of stood there for a moment, and you hear, "She is mine." Oh no, "Little sovereign is mine."
Lyra isn't a Eladrin, she's an Eldian. But I'm ching.
There we go. Yeah, Niles is just like, what? What was that? What is that?
So, didn't find Lockie.
Oh, yes, okay, good to know.
Did find someone else or something else or a conglomeration of something.
Oh, of course.
It calls itself the Hunger. It calls itself the Sovereign, but it also said it hungers, which is just a little bit concerning.
Oh. You didn't get
And then it tried to steal Swampy. Or me. I'm not sure, actually. Zombie
You
didn't
get
seem
it.
to like it though.
Did you get a glimpse in it at all? Did you?
I don't think it was just sort of vibes.
Feeling, yeah. It was more emotions and feeling
Yeah.
than anything else.
Can't really go off vibes.
So wait,
No.
the Sovereign was some different entity? You sure it wasn't just Swampy talking to you for the first time?
Definitely sure, because they were both there. Like, it's, I could sort of feel Swampy off to one side, and then Sovereign, I'm just gonna call it Sovereign, somewhere out sort of in front. It said it was sort of like a network, and so, at first I was thinking, like, what if it was like, the original giant network? Like, could it be an arm? And then it didn't seem to know what the giants were, so unless
that makes sense.
forgotten.
Since you used the Heartstone, and then all of a sudden it latched onto that. You said Sovereign, right?
Sovereign.
So the Myconids, if I recall, had a Sovereign amongst their ranks. That's why they dubbed you the Little Sovereign, correct?
Yeah, and that's what Swampy seems to be calling me now too, so
We might be looking at this the wrong way. What if it's nothing to do with the Enamen giant tech? What if it's to do with you and your body?
That's what I'm thinking, yes.
It used the title sovereign, right? The only times I've heard that is either with monarchies or with the Myconids, and the Myconids and their rapport spores act as a network.
And all the mycelium networks kind of are, an interconnected network of itself. But, if I've picked it up, either it's the Myconids down here had it, or the spore, because it has to have had its spores somewhere. Like, I must have come into contact with them, right? Like, either the Heartstone has, or I have at some point, either down here, or... Like, I'm not sure if it can bind to a soul. I didn't exactly have a body, so I couldn't have taken the physical spores with me, but from the Feywild somewhere.
Perhaps, do we make a bit of a detour back to the Myconid colony and ask around? We've got a lot of that place.
They're on the way back out, aren't they? Anyway.
It wouldn't hurt, but this does make a little bit of sense. Look, both possibilities are completely within reason. This being a Nam and connections to that, and some greater force, his split, fractured things that we've been meeting so far, maybe that's what's left of them together, the Sovereign, the network. Or, if this is the Myconids, maybe whatever the hell spoke to you isn't anything to do with the stones, it's unique to you and your body, and it's what Titania is after.
It's possible.
Third option. What if Hadar is some kind of mycelium, mushroom-based network that consumed planets? It's got to eat them somehow.
I do think there is one thing we've learned from all of this. Definitely that the stones have some sort of power with the soul. I remember when I became unconscious during our fight with Obsidian Foot, there was definitely a moment there where I was recognized by Sindaris. So it makes sense if your powers are somewhat connected to your soul, and then you're reaching out through the Heartstone. It may indicate as to why this entity was able to latch onto you.
The other thing as well, only for your characters, this was only a few hours ago. For you guys, it was about a month ago when you were back with the giants in the center of Tontanur. Elakir, when you asked the stone giants about the stones, how they work, how the Heartstones work, could you use it to talk to the previous incarnations? I think Harry specifically was kind of talking to Figment a bit about this, as well as Elakir. You know that these things bond not just to flesh, but to soul as well.
Yeah.
So as you say this out loud, Niles, like this kind of...
But it reconfirms what the giants were able to talk to us about, that I completely forgot, because it's been a long time since we've had this conversation.
One extra thing I'll say for Lyra too, because again, it's been even longer for this particular thing. But Lyra, you've been sort of talking around this, so I want to see if Lyra would think of this as well. Can you just roll me? I just want a flat wisdom check, please. Just a flat wisdom check. We'll see if Lyra thinks of this, because it has been a bit of in-game time for Lyra for this piece of information too. 15's not too bad. Lyra, you obviously don't remember the moment that you were brought back, but you know that happened at some sort of strange location where a flesh sculptor, Shana's told you a bit of this, and you obviously remember the moment when you first awoke after being reincarnated, revived. And the flesh sculptor did something with your flesh, and Shana wished your spirit back, but then something else happened to bond them together. Might potentially, just as you're thinking of this, and you kind of went through, is this something specific with your body? I know Bart was talking about, is this a specific thing with you? That would occur to you. You are unique in this party, in that the body that you wear, the body that you have, is not your original body. That original body belongs to Shana now. You are an untethered soul that has been kind of woven into this body, and it's immediately after that happened that your Myconid-based powers, your Circle of Spores Druid magic, began to manifest itself.
Oh, guys, I've got it. I figured out where the spores must have come from. They were in the red dragon. The dragon that they used to make my body from. Maybe. Probably.
Oh.
That's just theory that she's going with.
Not impossible. Yeah, no, it's not impossible at all.
Yeah, that's... Oh. Good, possible. I did forget about that.
Wait, you're part Dragon?
Kinda. I mean...
That's cool.
Remember when the Quaggoths were... Was it the Quaggoths? The one that was... Someone was sort of sniffing and they're like, oh, you smell like a dragon, not an elf, and that kind of saved my ass or something. I don't know, we've been down here for a while.
I heard that the flesh sculptor magically created your body out of the myriad of different things. It was quite the spectacle.
I mean, once
3
we get out
pinches
of here,
of sulfur, an iron bar. Like, what's the...
Well, yeah. Because, like, Niles probably doesn't know the detail. He's just like, oh, yes, I heard in a tavern that you were created by a young man
by a bodybuilder.
By a bodybuilder. It was incredible.
In Niles' mind, an incredibly attractive, handsome half-elf, like, with massive muscles, built Lyra a new body.
Yeah.
A bodybuilder.
Like,
Bodybuilder. Yeah.
Well, I mean...
The only reason I bring this up is because I know that Bart was talking about potentially visiting the flesh sculptor to get his wings reattached. So I was like, oh, okay, the flesh sculptor has come up recently. Lyra I think you would think of this.
I will just clarify, I haven't once said that I want to do that. The party keeps trying to convince me, but I feel like the name is creepy as fuck. It'll be fine.
Hang on. You were willing to make a deal. You were willing to make a deal with the devil who, for a moment, you guys were not unconvinced wasn't an archduke of one of the 9 hells. Like, I mean... True. I feel like you've made advances on far worse tracks than this one.
I feel like it's the grossness that's putting me off. Like, I would make a deal with the Yakuza rather than eating, like, food out of the rubbish bin.
That's so problematic on certain levels. That's very funny to me.
Would it make you feel better if they called him a bodybuilder? Would calling him a bodybuilder make you feel better? Would it change the way?
Yes. Yes.
Wow. Christian, come on. I mean,
they're not extremists. They're really passionate.
Or a plastic surgeon.
Plastic surgeon.
That's so funny.
Flesh sculpting.
You gotta love the mutability of language.
It's like that meme, like the devil, like is just like, hey, I'll get you a wings if you make a deal with me. And the guy goes, it's so amazing. And then the flesh sculptor's like, I can give you some wings, no drawbacks. And he's just like, oh, call HR.
Yeah,
I just need some body parts.
Yeah. Yeah, Lyra, as you think of that, I hand back over to you.
I mean, if we could theoretically go visit him, like sort of, see if the bodybuilder, flesh sculptor, what we want to call him, has some ideas maybe on how this happened. I mean, unless we got any other sort of leads to follow, but at the same time, he might be able to put your wings back.
A conversation for once we're in the sunlight again. But the Myconids are definitely something that we should not even consider. I think we just do it because look around at the rest of the group. I think you're all and we're done here now, right?
I think so.
Well, I mean,
you found out
our mission down here.
Yes, that's what I mean. It's back to the surface world. exploration and investigation of the stone giants has come to its fruition. If that is the case, we'll be heading back where we came from, and the Myconid village is along that way anyway.
Well, before we leave this particular area that we're in, I'm still warded, right, by like the area that we're in still, by the conclave of the Duragar that we're here already.
Yeah, for sure. And I should also add as well that Elikir is still with you. He seems to be, eyes still closed, still seems to be reaching out with his Heartstone.
Oh, cool.
They are still reaching out with their Heartstone. The conversation had been they're going to try and contact Sinmare and Lockie, let them know the status down here and let them know that you're okay. And then you guys were like, oh, let's try that as well, and with disastrous consequences.
No, but before we leave here, I was going to suggest, I still have Obsidian Foot's hammer in the bag of holding, and I think that Devil wants it, and I don't know what to do about this. He's gonna probably visit soon.
Well, we have to keep Bart away from him then.
What? What do you mean?
Did we actually say that he could have the hammer? Or did we say that we would obtain it?
You refused to make a deal.
We never said yes. We didn't say anything about that. But I said that I would talk to him later, and he's going to definitely talk to me later.
You keep me around. I'm a bit of a merchant, so we can see what we can do. Make sure you don't get ripped off.
I don't really want to make a deal with him, though. Yes, Ali. Yeah, sorry.
Well,
Lyra.
I mean, how much do we want to keep it out of his hands? I mean, we're currently standing in front of two of the hottest forges known to our era. I mean, if we kind of wanted to make sure that the devil couldn't get at it and maybe get some convenient metal at the same time, I mean, we can see how we can go about firing up this blast furnace.
But what if he comes back and wants to hurt me and everyone else?
But
well, if he wants to come back and hurt us, he can do it anyway. I mean,
that's a good point. He could do that anyway. He'd be pretty annoyed at us, but...
Oh, we just lost Matt. Oh, we only lost his audio. We can still see him. That's okay. Oh, wait, no, we can see Matt. We lost Lyra.
Oh.
And then Ali reconnected.
Okay,
it was her internet.
Yeah.
Oh, no.
That's pretty funny. It's alright, she's back.
Do I recall, because I remember Figment had... when we were in the dungeon and, like, Figment wanted to, like, get the control, like, touch of the hammer, but didn't want to, he was scared. And I distinctively remember saying, okay, well, we'll do it sometime when we actually can sit down and cautiously do this.
Yeah.
Was Figment still scared? Like, was Figment pro that or negative against that? I don't.
In the moment, he was just happy that you weren't going to do it right then and there, and so you're not sure Figment's current emotional state towards that. Figment was very grateful that you decided not to do anything in that moment. That's what you remember. I
would like to tap into have a quick chat with Fig.
Yeah. As you.
Well, they're all talking about what to do with the hammer.
So you now have the choice, Dave. Whenever you want to talk, whenever Harry wants to talk to Figment, you can now summon Figment as like a little, almost like a holographic entity that will interact with you.
Yeah, that's
whenever
so
you
cool.
want to talk to. Whenever you want to talk to Figment, he will appear in front of your companions in this. Yeah, like because you've now given him much more form. Figment now will resemble a small trailing entity with a rabbit-like mask. A little bit, like the cat. Is it the cat thing from Rain World? I'm thinking, I can't remember what it's called.
Oh yeah.
Not too dissimilar to that, actually.
Yeah. Okay. Well, yeah. Figment.
If you want to talk to him in public, otherwise you can keep your conversations private, just so that you know.
Harry has nothing to hide. It was only if they were still chatting, but Harry will pull them out. The hammer. Was there anything you can do with it in terms of anything you need from it, or would it be in their interest just to throw it away in the lava down there?
Have you always been able to do this, Harry?
Can we all just summon things now?
I can't summon anything. Nope.
Well, technically, you can summon Kong Chi.
The bag of holding.
So, like.
Oh well, but like Niles can't do anything.
Niles, as you focus and concentrate, suddenly you watch as a Bahir rise. No. Sorry. You hear the sound of flapping wings as 2,000 feet above you, a rock tries to like fly and can't find a cave, and then just pisses off Cross with you for trying to summon it into a cave.
It really does suck. Threign can summon his weapon back to himself. Ember's got flicker. Niles.
Well, that's why we gave him the bigger holding. He can summon things from there.
As you
summons the hammer.
No, put it back in.
Do you open the bag of holding?
No.
Cool.
Yeah. So I mean, I've always been able to do this in my mind, but it's just recently that we've been able to share him with the team. But it's a bit more of a team bonding experience. Piggy's like one of us now.
Yeah.
I am one of the Tempest Guild. I am all your friends.
Yeah. We should get Figment a card. But anyway, the hammer.
Sorry. Figgy? Figgy.
Figment is
Can
fine.
you hear us?
Harry insists on...
Okay.
Yes, I can hear you fine.
It was either Figgy or F-Dog.
Oh, I do like F-Dogs.
Oh, I like that.
My designation is Figment. Please refer to me in this way.
What I wanted to check, sorry, I was just checking first of all if you had access to, I guess, the audio through Harry.
I can hear what Harry hears, see what Harry sees, and smell what Harry smells. Unfortunately.
Harry, if your plan can help for 1 second, are you able to do a database check of some kind? The title Sovereign?
Sovereign. Designation used to describe a ruler, leader, or entity in charge of a kingdom, clan, empire, or other such associated land. Also used by the Myconids to designate between leaders, Myconids that stand above the others and lead the Song of the Circle. These are the two most common uses.
I didn't know you were a walking dictionary. That's really useful. I don't understand a lot of words.
I hope I can translate for you, Harry. You were talking about the hammer. I did not mean to overhear or listen in, but there is not much to do in between conversations.
Yeah, it's alright. My ears are your ears. Do you have any use for the hammer, or is it something that we should dispose of, or can you draw power from it, or is there information in there that might help you, learn more about what you're looking for?
The hammer has been touched by infernal hands, the entity that you know as Vice, some sort of demon, which means he has probably corrupted the hammer, changed whatever is inside to suit an infernal purpose. With Vice no longer here, and the Dwergar Obsidian Foot no longer wielding the hammer, I have a far greater chance of clearing this corruption from it. You may find this artifact very useful, both as a weapon and as a way to unlock other giant technology. But it is a risk. If this Vice is stronger than I have predicted, outside of my algorithmic patterns, I may be overwhelmed by the hammer's influence.
Okay, another quick question. The hammer, right? Could it infect things wirelessly? So if we went to go see old mate Lockie, could this be a danger for him, or was only if he like if we went up to him and said this hammer has been touched by infernal things, will it be a risk to him just being close to him?
What is this?
I believe not. I think intent is required to wield the powers of the hammer. If we were to hold it right now, Harry, we would not be in any danger. Your companions wouldn't be either. But if we attempted to use it, or I attempted to connect with it to clear the corruption, we would be opening ourselves up to danger.
Yeah.
Oh, it's a little side note. Just as a concept, throwing a thought out there, just letting it bounce against anything.
I am incorporeal. Nothing can bounce against me.
True.
Bounces.
This is in no way encouraged by a stigma against a certain person, but what if we sent it to the Feywild?
That sounds like a terrible idea. The last thing we want is to give them the hammer.
Really want to fuck with Dewey, and if we sent it there and put it in Titania's stead, she'd be a powerful enough entity to keep it away from the devil, and we wouldn't need to worry about being attacked. And it would really just
very much about being attacked.
It would mess up Dewey's life in lovely ways.
As funny as that would be, my thoughts would be to take it back to the guild with this and see if Loki and I, not me, if Loki and we could access it together in a safe environment, if that would be worth a go.
It may be worth a try. Sending it to the Feywilds might prove difficult. As far as I am aware, such magic requires powerful spellcasting or access to a planar gate.
I thought of an easy way. Any of the gear, saddle and whatnot that's usually attached to Gong Chi goes back with him. I was just going to attach it to the saddlebag and poof.
That is an option.
I'm very down for fucking with Dewey. Don't get me wrong. I mean, if anyone has a grudge against this guy, it's me. But I think that sending the hammer there might sort of backfire on us. I mean, worst case, or not even worst case scenario, like sort of best case scenario, Vice sort of goes to the Feywilds to go get the hammer back. Him and Titania sort of hook up and have one big ass powwow, and suddenly the two of them have teamed up, and then they're coming for us. Like,
okay, that's fine. I'll settle for other. I've got other plans to get back at Dewey in fun ways.
We can't hear you. Sorry, Matt. Oh.
I was thinking, we can't hear you. Sorry, Matt.
Niles, unfortunately, I cannot pass your audio input. Apologies. I am unable to read your lips.
Oh no.
Oh, there we go.
Oh, we can hear now.
Oh yeah.
Your audio is currently working, Niles. Thank you.
Excellent. Look, all I really care about, I don't really want this hammer on me when this Mr. Vice comes knocking. I don't really want to make Sage do anything.
You want to chuck it in my beacon holding in?
Yeah. If that's okay, Harry.
Yeah. Easy.
Harry, when you do plan to do whatever you're doing with it as well, I wouldn't mind coming along and attempting to help a bit. I don't know
we should all be
there. Sorry?
We should all be there.
Well, no, I just meant specifically when you try interacting with the weapon, because I'd like to help rather than just watch. I don't know how I did it, but what Figment was talking about, interacting and overpowering, that's kind of like what I did with the Lothsworn weapon.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, easy. Yeah, well, I mean, we'll go back and chat with Lockie and consult. He seems like an expert in this kind of thing, and see if we can all huddle up and have a go at this together. Have a bit of a crack.
How is that going, by the way? The sword, is it still? You still got control over that part, or?
When I tap into my powers, there is like a shiver up the spine.
Okay.
It's definitely not the best, and this isn't a long time weapon. But for now, its repurpose is still in check. I'll let you know if it gets bad.
Oh, good. Yes, do let me know.
Okay. Well, what's our plan then? Were we going to be guiding some of the Svefniblin back to Blindenstone, or
are we switching the hammer over from your bag of holding to Harry's bag of holding?
Yes.
Great. Here's what happens. Niles, as you reach into your bag, this is so we have a community summon which you have just triggered. You've activated a trap card.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's fine.
As you reach into your bag of holding, Niles, and pull out the Dwergar hammer, the giant hammer, Obsidian Foot's enormous hammer set with this corrupted heartstone. You reach out, nothing wrong. You reach in, think of the hammer, pull it out immediately, close the bag, strings behind you, reach over and hand it to Harry. Harry, as you grab onto the hammer, there's a feeling, this sudden tingle in your fingers for a moment, but nothing more than that. And then Harry, as you go to open up your bag of holding, you watch as a grey hand reaches out, grabs the hammer, and pulls it inside your bag of holding.
Harry reaches in after the hand.
The hand reaches up, grabs your hand, and attempts to pull you into your own bag of holding. Could I please have you make me a athletics or acrobatics check to try and escape this grapple?
With help,
grab him by the legs, just sort of stop him from going in.
Yeah.
Harry, you may roll this with advantage.
Okay.
Did you say a check or saving throw?
It's a athletics or acrobatics check for Harry. He may roll this with advantage.
Okay.
We're doing it with the new grapple rules. 24 with acrobatics.
Ooh, that's good.
Harry, you nimbly manage to get your hand out of the way. As Figment vanishes in that moment, you're no longer concentrating on something.
I try to pull this hand as well.
Oh, okay. As you try and pull the hand, you watch as a grey-skinned arm, long and sinuous, humanoid, but desiccated and almost slightly mummified. As the arm begins to emerge, you watch as then a shoulder starts to appear, and then these two glowing red eyes appear inside the mouth of the bag. You hear a hiss, and then the bag closes, and the hand pulls back in.
Where's the hammer?
The hammer's inside the bag.
Yeah, I guess it's safe.
Surely the hand's getting pulled through, right? The hammer's coming in through at the end.
Oh,
right?
so the hammer goes inside the bag, and then as you reach in to try and grab it, and the left hand comes and grabs you to pull you in.
Oh. So
Harry tries to pull the hammer out of the bag.
Harry, as you
Again?
open the bag and reach in thinking of the hammer, could you please roll me a D100?
What the fuck is this? Oh no.
Can bones zombify inside a bag of holding?
I don't know, man. Who
That is
knows?
a 9.
9. Harry.
A 9? What? Why can't we roll above a 10?
I love how you guys help pull Harry out of the bag, and then he watches Harry, like, sees the bag close, goes like, nah, mate, and then opens it up and reaches back in again for a second time.
I want this hammer. Harry wants his hammer.
Harry, as you reach in, thinking of the hammer, you feel a familiar weight fall into your hand, and as you pull the hammer out, nothing else seems to happen.
Oh fuck. What? Okay.
What if you think about a zombie?
Vic, without like connecting to it, are we able to still sense the infernal energy coming off this? There's something weird just happened. And I think you saw it through our eyes. Yeah.
I'm going to hold a stick above the bag of holding that's currently open.
Nothing seems to happen as you hold a stick
Holding a
above it.
sword.
I'm going to like tap the voidy liquid with just the tip of the stick.
No, nothing seems to happen. You tap the
Oh.
voidy liquid.
Screw this shit.
If anyone wants to, they can roll me, I'm going to say a history or arcana check to see if you know what the fuck that was. I will warn you, it's a pretty hard DC. Harry, yeah,
Did Harry do a perception check to
You can
check
do a
if the
perception.
hammer is
yeah,
modified?
yeah. So
in
as
any
you,
way
as you do a
whatsoever?
perception check or investigation, Figment will also confirm.
That was very strange. That creature seemed to emerge from inside the bag. What have you been keeping in there, Harry?
Yeah, treasures. Physical treasures.
I have no idea.
This is still the same hammer. Nothing has changed.
Is there some type of entity that can exist within a bag of holding?
Wow, 17. We got a 9 from Bart. Ember 16. Okay. Harry 14. And then 13 on history. Yeah, it's definitely the same hammer, Harry, for your perception of 14. Lyra 9. You don't fucking know. Bart has no idea. Ember and Niles. Ember and Niles, you have heard stories shared amongst other adventurers. Niles, in this case, it would probably be shared amongst the Mercantile Guild. Bags of holding in Nostea are not crazily uncommon. It's a very useful enchantment for transporting goods over great distances. The handy haversack and portable hole are also in high demand amongst the merchant guilds to be able to transport things, especially the Arakokra Messenger Guild. Given that you're carrying everything on your back, being able to be weightless and carry a couple 100 pounds worth of goods is incredibly useful. You've heard rumors of occasionally things going missing. Things inside bags of holding, things nearby bags of holding. And no one really knows why. It's rare, and what's more, it seems to travel. One person might have it happen, and then another person they've met 2 weeks later might have the same thing. And it's not just items. There are rumors that sometimes people have gone missing as well. Niles, on top of this, you know that this entity, there's a whispered name shared amongst the mercantile guilds. You're the only one who knows this name, Niles. Ember, you know everything I've just said, but Niles, you've heard of a story told long ago. A person who, in a moment of fear and panic, abandoned their comrades and hid inside a bag of holding, but became lost, wandering between the various realms, trapped. Because the contents of a bag of holding are in a little demi-plane contained within the astral sea, time doesn't pass for the items inside the bag. And nor did it pass for this unfortunate soul, who over time has been warped and twisted. Sometimes called a bagman.
Oh,
An
I like
entity
look up in realization.
An entity that travels between bags of holding.
It's the Bagman. No, so.
You hear from inside the bag, I'm Bagman.
I'm Bagman.
So this is a community summon.
Where is she?
Where is Harry? This is a community summon, the Bagman. It is actually based upon an entity discussed in Van Richten's Guide to Ravenloft as an example of a horrifying creature that you could create, horrifying homebrew creature. And the description of it is so fantastic. So,
really good.
You think that there might be a bagman in Harry's bag of holding, which also means, Niles, that at any moment it could be a bagman in your bag of holding.
Oh, he's in both of our bags. Have you not heard of a bagman before, Harry? Surely you have.
Oh, no, I have not. We have the big rabbit back at home. We have a holiday at the end of every year, and the big rabbit comes around and delivers little carrots to all the little younglings. But I never heard of a bagman before.
I mean, the bag rabbit sounds a lot nicer than the bag man.
Yeah, it wasn't ashen and scary like that. It was like a little claw.
I mean, I've only heard it.
The bag rabbit is now canon. Sorry, that's Christian.
I like that. No, I was going to say, I mean, I heard rumors about it back during my time in the Mercantile Guild, but no one's ever really seen one before. Quite rare.
I guess now whenever we take anything out or pull anything in, we just have an axe or a sword ready to chop off whatever comes out.
I mean, am I able to infer from that role, like, if the bagman is, like, inherently good or bad? Like, is he, like, an evil thing?
In the context of the stories that you've heard, because your history check is kind of like, what have you heard, rumored and whispered?
Yeah.
Items go missing and people go missing.
Oh, the people bit. Yeah. Okay, yeah. Oh, yes. No, he's bad. We should definitely get rid of him.
He's a bad bagman. Bad bagman.
He's a bad bagman.
Bad bagman.
He's a bad bagman.
I know how to make Simon
Threign
laugh.
and everyone holds me. Could I? You guys want to try reaching in and thinking of the big man and see if I
You're
can
going to
pull
go
him out?
fishing.
Can we tie a rope around your
We do
waist
this?
first?
Or maybe
And
we
then
should
tie
just
that
go
rope to
home
a tree?
first and not do this in the Underdark.
That's a good point.
Also,
I think
we've just spent the entire day fighting, battle after battle. The bagman, if he's just sitting in there, he can wait.
We do also have. Yes, I'm very tired. I'm with Bart, but we also have other things to discuss, like next plans, what we're going to do.
Yeah, are we going to,
Yeah.
for whatever the hell, just, oh my God, Harry.
I mean, Bart, I was going to bring this up at a separate time, but we had a situation with, our people and potentially things that are going to happen on the surface, and we kind of have to figure out what we're going to do about that.
Well, I figure we can talk about that while we're traveling. For now, even sooner plans. What are we doing now? Are we going straight to the Myconid camp? Are we heading to Blindenstone to guide the refugees that were taken back home? What's our plan?
Well,
Same direction, isn't it?
I think we find
No, it's not.
we find the deep gnomes, right? They're up on the surface. We gather them all together. We lead them to Blindenstone, make sure that they're all safe, and then we head back to the surface via the Myconid colony, because the Myconid colony wasn't too far from the surface, if I recall. It was only maybe day or two away?
It was closer to the surface, yeah. But no, Lyra, it's not in the way. But that's what I was wanting to check. I remember Blindenstone was purposely a bit out of the way. The only reason we were able to get here so quickly, or to any of the locations, is due to the mine carts. So if we're going to Blindenstone, it wouldn't be quicker than heading straight to the surface if that was our goal. But if we are, I personally would like to protect them on the journey back. The Underdark is not a safe place. We've already learned time and time again.
Before we leave here as well, I think Harry, you wanted to go back to where we were before when we fought Obsidian.
We should take Obsidian's foot as a trophy.
No, yes. I actually was very happy on that. If we can take his chest and the foot and the rewards that he had hoarded to himself, that means that we won't need to worry about the Swift Nerblin paying us anything. That's payment enough. I didn't want
that would be preferable, yes.
To take anything.
Sounds like a plan.
The points I made in that last conversation, I still stand by. But if we can use this as a substitute, that would be perfect.
I do not wish to interrupt. You watch as Elakir, looking down towards you, and has been for a little bit of time, clearly finished his communication and just waiting patiently for the small folk to finish their bullshit. But you mentioned you wish to travel back to the center of Tontanu. I must take you. I have made contact with Loki. A transport is on its way to collect you. He wishes to speak with you urgently.
Right now?
Maybe not right this second, but it is on its way.
It is on its way. Do you mean Loki is on his way?
Yes. The courier transport. Well,
Construct
what is it?
Known as Loki.
Oh,
do you have an ETA?
He did not tell me when, just that I should make sure you are ready for his arrival at the center of Tontanu.
Okay, maybe while we travel, I do have a question for you, if that's okay.
Of course, small one.
I'm imagining this is like we're talking as we're walking at this point, right?
Oh, you don't need to walk. You watch as Elakir holds his hands out, spins his feet, and then the ground lifts up, and you begin surfing along the ground next to him, like around his feet.
As this is happening, I sort of go back to Elakir and say, well, when we interfaced with the Heartstone and went back in time and saw some of the moments of the giant history, and at the center of Tontanu, there was an entity, something within the center that, like a, hard to describe what it was.
Guardian.
Yeah, yes. He had like long appendages, maybe like primordial, perhaps? I'm not sure.
Yes, the Stone Guardian is an old primordial spirit. One that did not ascend to godhood. One that has remained. Whether it still will listen to us is another matter. We have been gone for some time. It may be that it has died, or passed on, or moved elsewhere. Such entities tend not to last.
Oh, that's unfortunate. I would have very much liked to have seen it in today's time. It would have been
My heart weeps for its loss. It will be the next thing we search for, small one, our Stone Guardian.
I look forward. I wish you all the best in your search for it.
Well, if that's the case, if we're in a rush, I do have an idea. There was something I wanted to do, and I was going to bring Harry along anyway. I wanted to head up out of the mine shafts to find Gook and reunite both of them together, Flick and Gook. I have an apology that I need to make to Gook, and I'd rather it be to both of them. I was going to take Harry so Harry could get the foots and just ride Kong-Chi up and be as quick as possible. I might as well make my way to that warrior that they had, the giants. I don't know if we're going to be going back to the surface. Maybe I can beseech him to offer some sort of protection to the deep gnomes back to Blindenstone. He seemed upset that things were going how they were going, but obviously I don't know, he has to have something that he wants, and maybe I can make a deal. I just don't. What was his name again, Elikia?
Which one?
That one that was upset.
Oh, yes. You speak. Find it. Of. You speak of Magadon.
Magadon. I'm hoping that I can do two things. Maybe not burn this bridge between our people and yours with whatever has upset him, and maybe even help our friends in the same time. Or strike a deal of some kind with him.
You will try, I am sure. But Magadon can be stubborn. They have harbored rage for what has happened to us, and blame the small folk.
I understand that.
And the dragons as well. I should not put all the blame upon you.
The dragon?
Yes, Magadon spoke often in the astral sea. The dwarves, the elves, and the dragons, to whom we gave shelter. It was they who were responsible for banishing us. If not them, then who? And how?
I'll look to the rest of the party, unless, I don't know, the rest of you have any idea. If we're going to be going to Loki, I just don't feel comfortable with the Deep Gnomes heading to Blended Stone themselves.
Maybe Oric more willing, if Magadon sort of is holding a bit of a grudge, but maybe Oric sort of seemed to sort of be a neutral sort of party, maybe?
I can look over these small folk, if that is what you wish. It would be my honor to serve and pay back the generous gift you have given me, my freedom.
I don't mean to be rude in any sense, but we've already experienced a lot of leadership with Obsidian Foot and titles of sovereigns and whatnot. When it comes to you and this Magadon, as far as I could see, he was the sort of leader of the warrior caste.
They are senior to me in that regard, yes.
So you can make a choice to guide these people. That's why I was going to reach out to him.
I belong to the crafts makers, those who shape the stone. I am no warrior, but I can make the stone dance. Guide, protect, and attack those who would wrong us.
Okay. I thought I might need to search for the person who is the decision maker, I guess. But
we have no one right now. We are divided. I am hoping the Earth thing, or what remains of it, can help give us guidance on how to proceed. The line of succession is broken. We have no leader at the moment.
I believe that's what we will hopefully discover soon, when we return to the surface and make contact with the rest of the giants.
Okay. Well, in that case, I still will take Harry up, but I guess if I see Magadon, I do, and if I don't, I don't, and we can trust on yourself. Thank you. Thank you so much for that, Elikia. And
this is the payment of a debt. Nothing more.
Elikia as well, if you see that the defenses in Lindenstone are still not as adequate as what they should be, you could help them. Do not take up too much of your time, but it maybe shore up their defenses so they are at least safe for now, perhaps?
I could bring 2 more stone singers with me, so that we might work fast. Repair damage.
The same as... Actually, yeah, now that he brings it up, the same as your city, theirs is in ruins too. Houses torn down, places of love and memory ripped asunder. That would be amazing.
I'm sure the Deep Gnomes would be impressed and maybe perhaps would be able to learn from your abilities as well. They are quite good craftsmen themselves. It would be nice for you to converse and learn.
Our magic has proven difficult for others to learn, but maybe times have changed. These Sverfniblen, you say, were not around when we left this plane. Perhaps they have an eye, a heart for the stone. The elves and dwarves and dragons did not. I will see if they can be taught. We are in dire need of more stone singers, giant or otherwise.
I think you will find that their skills are quite impressive. The networks that they have created and their love of engineering seems to have served them well, for the most part.
I'll whistle Kongchi over, but it does come to both my mind and Bartholomew's mind as I'm about to sort of head to the surface. This might be like the last time talking to Elakia and maybe being in the Underdark if we are being whisked away in some sort of weird transportation. The dream didn't fully make sense on the Ettringer's role. Elakia, do you know what part in your social structure Ettringer took part in?
Ettringer was a stone singer, senior, before I took the mantle with their passing. Okay.
He seemed, from some of the things that we've envisioned in our dreams, close with the heir and leader, both of them.
With Utnir. Yes, Utnir and Ettringer were close. Friends, and perhaps something more.
Harry. Wow.
Because stone giants are much more. There's not really sexual dimorphism in stone giants. They are quite unlike a lot of the other giants, a lot of the other races. So I mean, there's not two genders in stone giants. There's only one. They're
rabbit on owl shipping.
No one said that. We're talking about stone giants.
Okay. Interesting.
Okay. Well, speaking of which, I'll hop up and ask Harry to saddle up behind me.
Saddle up, partner.
Harry gives you a wink.
We'll be back soon. And
you can't see the second eye when he's doing it. So.
I'll crack on Kongchi, and so us three will head back up to try to quit.
Something that before I just wanted to ask something as well. I forgot his name.
Elakia.
When you, I'm trying to understand the timeline. The giants leaving Nostea and returning. What were things like for you when you were in the world that you were in?
The astral sea. Time passes differently there. It was hard to track. I do not know how long we were away. For us, it felt like years. My eyes, a connection to the stone, to the world, tells me it has been far longer than that.
What was it? It was. Was it? If you don't mind me asking, Uttringer. Wait, no, not Uttringer.
Utnir
Sorry,
and Ettringer.
Uttringer, by all accounts, seems to have.
You're looking for the prince,
Utnir.
right? The prince/princess.
Yeah.
Utnir.
Well, I'm trying to ascertain when
we have their ship name now. Uttringer is their ship name, so we're good to go.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, you're trying to figure out when they died, yeah.
Yeah. So King Hilmar, obviously, he seems to have perished when you returned to Nostea at some point, but your memories are still...
Elder Hunmar was not with us in the Astral Sea. That was one of the main concerns, why we have come back so fractured. Elder Hunmar did not come through.
And Uttringer's came with you to the Astral Sea as well?
Utnir had died many months before we were taken. Elder Hunmar was in mourning when we were whisked from this world.
How did he die?
I know not, only that his passing was sudden and caused great sorrow. He and Ettringer both failed to return. Some journey they had been on, something for the Thing.
Were they in the dream?
They were. They were in the dream, away from the waking world.
I have another question. When you were in the astral sea, did that count as the dream or the waking world to you?
The astral sea is limbo.
Both. Not
Place
a
real
wake
and
forest.
unreal, of waking dreams and dreaming wakes.
Ah, I see.
Were you aware of any of the other giant clans, sort of about their presence, or the others that may have travelled or didn't travel with them? I mean, was Elder Hunma the only leader that you're aware of that didn't travel to the astral?
I'm not sure. It was chaos. We were floating. I could see other giants. It was cold and dark. We gathered together. The storm giants still had their enormous castle, the storm's redoubt. It had come through with them. The cloud giants as well, one of their cities. Something about the magic. We sheltered in the storm's redoubt, King Mjorn granting us shelter and safety from the void of the astral sea. But I know the frost giants also suffered a great loss. Their leader, not with them as well. So, you guys know that for the hill giants, the brother and sister, both came through. Gunglot and her brother, who actually don't know the name of, they both came through. King Mjorn was there. Queen Sindis and Sinmare. I'd say they're the one. You know for a fact that they were there because they've come back, so they definitely came back.
Yeah.
Yeah. Don't know about the fire giants though, or the cloud actually.
Do you know? Does the name Sindaris ring a bell to you at all?
Sindaris? No, I have not heard that name before. Which clan did he belong to?
I believe he was a storm giant.
Storm giant? No, I know of no such storm giant called Sindaris.
He was present at the signing of the oath thing here.
I was not.
By the stone giants.
Fortunately.
Ah, I see.
I was away, deeper in the waking world. We were preparing aspects of the new forge. I was required as a stone singer to shape stone and rock, a platform above the lava. I missed the signing.
There's another question I have. Sorry, there are many. There's a lot to talk about. The alloy, this particular giant alloy that the small things were so eager to create. Do you know of any? I mean, this seems strange to ask. I asked a Durga who forged it if there were any weaknesses or any sort of exploits that could be used to undo it or break it down. He said it was difficult, impossible even. But for a stone giant like yourself, do you know of any way of being able to destroy it or rework it? Is there anything we could do with it?
Metal is of the earth. The earth bows to those who sing its tones. A stone singer can weaken the metal, separate it, make it fragile. That is why we were working with it. You think the volumes here of the giant metal are impressive, our alloy. It is nothing compared to the fire forge that the giants of the volcanic region worked. We merely took their offcuts and allowed it to be weakened and melted down for them to use once more. If you are interested in more of the giant metal, you should seek the fire giants. It was they who created it, and they who forged it in greater numbers.
Interesting. Thank you. Should have glanced to Bart and kind of give him a bit of a...
I'm guessing at the mention of the fire giants, which is Flicker's tail lights up momentarily and you see Ember get a bit sweaty.
Yeah.
that is what you seek, knowledge of the giant metal, of the alloy, you should head north. Island chained there. Volcanoes that rise deep from the ocean floor, that is where the fire giants worked, their mighty forges.
Did you and the fire giants have a good working relationship then, by the sounds of it?
We did. Far better than fire and frost. You watch as a wry smile crosses his face, or crosses their face, I should say.
I give a bit of a knowing nod to that. Did anyone else have any other questions for our friend here?
For me.
I was going to say, are me and Harry there, or had we left?
I was going to confirm that with you. So currently, the way that this was kind of going was that Elakir was doing their stone walk, and you guys were on the platform with the stone walk being brought. So if you wanted to kind of, rather than like riding Hongchi, if you wanted Elakir to pause briefly and have this conversation while you guys jumped off at the start of the dwarven controlled part of the city, or the ex-dwarven controlled part of the city, that's easy enough. So while this conversation's happening, you don't even need to summon Kongji, you can just jump off the platform as you get to this top half. Elakir will wait as you and Harry then rush on down the pathway to go and try and find the deep gnomes or find any of the other stone giants.
Yeah, I'd probably have bounced off. I'll still ask Harry if he wants to come, but I still want to find Grook and reunite them.
Harry's keen to go.
Perfect. As the two of you take off then, while the rest of you are asking this question, Harry and Bart, you begin moving through the city. You can see there are many more stone giants now around the outside of the city, and 3 of them are singing. The notes are deep and low, reverberate through the stone around you. As you get closer, you begin to feel the vibration deep within your chest, this bass note, pure and clean, but reverberating with this power within your chest. And you watch as the stone begins to flow like water, the stone giants moving their hands and shaping it, fixing the spires, fixing the broken parts, and with a single swipe, erasing all of the work the Duergar had done to create their city. The metal falling away as the stone that it had been fixed into flows like water away from it. As the metal crumbles to the ground, some of the stone giants begin to move, burying it beneath the stone as they fix their city, erasing the Duergar from this part. As you move over towards the tower, Harry and Bart, you can see the tower is no longer stationed. It is no longer being lived in because it has been sealed back into a stalactite. There is, if anyone's inside, they've been sealed into the stone. And after a brief moment of panic, as you have this sudden thought that everyone inside that tower has now been petrified, you turn over towards the far eastern part of the street and you can see 2 stone giants gazing down at a large open section. Stone has been raised up to form almost like a Colosseum-like semicircle of stone walls and a platform in the center. You can see a collection of Sverfnibelin and Duergar, as well as a couple of the other ex-slaves. And you can see one stone giant, a very, very old-looking stone giant, gazing at each one and trying to sort Sverfnibelin from Duergar from everything else, and fucking struggling. You gave them instructions, right? You said like, oh, the Sverfnibelin are fine, the Duergar are not, and you can see the giants are trying their best, but like,
that's sweet. I thought that this was just like some dude with OCD, like.
Oh no! As you,
old bloke is like,
as you get a bit closer,
be sorted by how you look.
You must be aligned. As you get a bit closer, you can see some of the giants turn and look at you, getting ready to catch you, and then recognizing the heartstones and standing down, bowing and making this hand shape you've not seen before. The stone giants raising their hand and pulling it down into almost like a closed fist that then opens as it passes their hand. This like pull down and then open.
I love that.
I will hop off Kong Chi and tell Harry, you're fine to use this to head back to the battlefield and recover the foot and anything else there.
Oh no, you guys are all going there anyway because that's the center of Tontonur. That's where you're headed next. This is like a brief pause because that's where Elakir is taking you guys to meet with Lockie. It's the very center of Tontonur, which is where you fought Obsidian Foot.
But I figured that he might want to get there quicker. That's Harry's location. I wanted to stop off at these people because I'm assuming that's where Grook's going to be.
Oh, you can see, looking up, Gook is there with a bunch of the other Sverfnibelin, like trying to sort of talk to the stone giants and just being flat out ignored.
Yeah. By the way, did we grab the chest?
It's also back at the center of town.
The fighting
It was
area?
booby trapped
Yeah.
at the time. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, so the whole thing came with us.
Did you want to head back to the center square before Elakia and the rest get there, or did you want to come with me to the refugees?
It's going to take you a long time to just ride through the city on Kong Chi to get to the center of Tontonu, Harry. This is a huge city, just so you know.
Yeah. You might also need to come with me so we can actually get there. So no, we'll stick together.
Okay. Well, I'll head up to the old stone giant with this sort of platform with... How many would you say, like, roughly standing on top of it?
Oh, there's... Camera back. There's easily 80, 90 figures. They have taken everyone that they can and just collect them all in this raised stone platform so that if they were to jump off, they would die. Like, it's a long drop down.
And
Yeah.
those that were surviving down the bottom, the Duergar priestess and the rest,
You guys
they
have just left them. They're all just down at the bottom.
Yeah.
And you guys didn't really communicate much with them, just to let them know the city had been taken by the stone giants and it was safe to come up again. That was the last communication you had with them before you just took off.
I will, in my broken giant, say to that older one, there's some more to gather in that direction, and I'll sort of point back towards where we just came from.
You watch as the stone giant pauses, lichen and moss growing through the cracks on their stony skin. You watch as the giant turns and looks down at your cracking noise as bits of stone dust begin to rain down. The giant turns and regards you and goes, I have not sorted you.
Where do I belong?
Ah, you are the one Elakia spoke of. You carry our heartstones. Thank you for freeing us. You said there are more small folk. Bother.
Yes.
This will take me some time to sort. They yap on, don't they?
We have much shorter lives than your lot.
One would think silence would be a better choice then, not to fill the air with such barking sounds.
Have you asked them nicely?
They squabble and talk all at once. Where is their sense of patience?
I apologize for that. Do you mind if I ruin your organizing and pluck one of these away?
You can tell them apart, individuals. No?
Do we all look the same to you?
These ones do. You look far more interesting. There are no more like you up here. Unless, and then you watch she points at a bedraggled tabaxi. This one is white. You are white. You see the tabaxi, a snow leopard tabaxi, just kind of like looks at you, looks at her, and then goes, How dare you compare me to this bird? Silence, you yap.
Have you... I know that Etringer and the air went to the surface, an expedition. Have you ever experienced the dreaming yourself? You seem curious.
I have stayed in the waking world my whole life. I am endarkened.
Well, being awake all the time can make one pretty exhausted. Maybe once all is said and done, you should have a dream. One to the
Just
surface.
me, or has Figment taken over?
Yeah.
Oh, cool. You're a bit robotic. A bit robotic. It sounds like Figment's kind of taking control of you and is like, basically like,
Now I am the bird. Squawk, squawk.
Where are you?
Maybe you should have a dream and experience the surface world once everything here is finished and fixed. I feel like you'd like it.
No. If it is all like this, it would be loud. It would be too loud. Give
Isn't
me the
that exciting,
silence. No, give me the silence of the stones, the patience of the earth, the gentle ripple of water through the deep places.
Okay, if that's what you want. Nonetheless, though, would you mind helping me up?
Of course, little one. You watch as the older stone giant raises their hand, and as the stone shifts under your feet, you rise up on a pillar that then grows a bridge of stone across to the edge of the platform. Immediately, all of the Duergar Svirfniblin begin to rush towards the platform before an enormous hand comes down, separating you from the rest of them, as the fingers open just a touch to let through a tiny crack. As you move forward, you can see Gook like scrambling to the front, being like, "Get the fuck out of my way! He's here for me! Get out!" As she gets forward and like looks through the fingers, like squeezes, goes, "Oh, Bart, can you get us out of here, mate? This is ridiculous. They've got us all on this platform."
They don't trust the Duergar.
Okay, we're not Duergar.
I know.
Yeah, you know.
Yeah,
Can you let them know that, please?
I'm going to sort of shout out to the group in front. Duergar, those of you that were serving under Obsidian Foot, you are safe. There is no retribution that is coming your way. We spoke to your priestesses, those that did not want to serve under Obsidian Foot. A bargain has been struck. You just, unfortunately, like what you did to the Svirfniblin here, will need to find a new home, as yours is being torn asunder.
Could you make me a persuasion check, please, Bartholomew? Mentioning the priestesses is going to help you out with this.
And you definitely have the mask that you're attuned to. It's gonna make it better.
I don't think I've attuned to it yet, no.
Yeah, you haven't.
14.
Not too bad, though. 14.
14.
Pretty
As
good.
you call out, you watch as one of the Duergar steps forward, and you recognize this Duergar, Bart. This is one of the Stone Guard, one of the female Stone Guard who had originally been... so she is the one who you guys kind of spoke to and agreed to turn against Obsidian Foot initially. The one who guided you into the room with the trap, and you showed the summoning circle to. You watch as she pauses. I mean, she is injured. You can see that there's a large gash across her scalp, bleeding slowly. One of her eyes is glued shut by dried blood. Her armor has been torn off. You watch as she makes eye contact with you. Just one eye contact with you. Looks at you, nods, and then looks back at the rest of the Duergar. Right. It's over then. Bastard's dead.
Yes. Any of you that were loyal to him, he lost. He was defeated. If you want to follow in his footsteps, I think you've already seen in the streets how that is going to occur. You're best off just leaving the city and as a group deciding on what to do next. The Svirfniblin will be safely guarded back by a entourage of the stone giants. So think not about going back on your bargain when outside of this city.
So you spoke to one of our priestesses, did you?
Yes.
What did they look like?
I'm forgetting a little bit. She was wearing silk robes. Oddly enough, symbolism like that of the drow, rather than of any sort of dwarven design.
No other feature stood out to you?
Would I make a history check?
I said it in the intro as well. Something very, very significant. 4. Nah, they just wore silk robes.
Harry, also do a history check.
You're there, Harry. Do you know? 2.
So funny.
This was only like 30 minutes ago for your characters, so I'm going to be really nice. They did have these weird... Something very, very obviously different about them compared to every other Duergar you've seen. Something magical in nature. That...
It was a magic tattoo, was it?
Hey!
Hey! I went bald, okay.
It takes you some time, But
They
you
were
do
both
eventually get across the idea of glowing paint on their body. You watch as the Dwergar kind of looks and goes,
Oh, they were marked. They were marked.
We didn't think anything of it as well because we got these stones that glow. So like, yeah, it's just normal for us.
Yeah, sorry.
There's people in the city with those same tattoos.
I was trying to think of like a scar on her body. or
Everything
something.
glows in the Underdark, don't you know? It's like, jeez.
I'm not fully
they were
convinced
marked.
that you've seen the priestesses. Your description's too vague. Why muck around when that's the most obvious thing about them? We don't have much of a choice, do we?
Everything down here glows. I'm sorry. I just.
You watch as Gook sort of looks at you and goes, I don't glow. Really a bit sad about it.
You had that orb that glowed, didn't you? Anyway, conversation for another time, Cook.
I'm not convinced that you've met with our priestesses, nor that you made a bargain with them. But I don't see any other choice. Dwergar, to me. We'll group together at the back. If we're being kept here because they're trying to sort stuff nibbling from Dwergar, we'll make it easy for them.
Quicker it is, the quicker you get out of here.
Exactly. If you're saying that we've got amnesty, I'm not waiting around till they change their fucking minds. To me, soldiers, smiths and masons. Now, we're done with this place. Done with this poisonous dream of Melgrim. With that, you watch as the Dwergar begin pulling back and forming a group over at the side. Above you, watch as the elderly giant looks down at you, looks over at them and goes, "Oh, that is much quicker. Good." Lifts her hand up away, allowing Gook to kind of like stumble forwards towards you.
I'll turn up to the giant, see, asking nicely, and turn back to Gook. We're in a hurry, unfortunately. I'm like avoiding eye contact with Gook. Do you mind if we head off quickly? We've found her.
Sorry, what? Hang on, you found Flick? Where is she? She looks around, hopefully trying to see past you down towards the city streets.
I'll reach a hand down to offer her to jump on Kongchi with us.
Hang on, whoa. Where? You said you were heading off though. Like, the group were coming up here. Is she coming here, or like, are you gonna take me down to her?
They'll most likely be brought here as well. But I figured I wanted, because I'm in a rush. I needed to get you guys together sooner. I have something to say to both of you.
Is she okay? Is she okay? Like,
She's fine.
Oh, if I could lead with that next time.
In case you didn't realize, we're not very articulate. We didn't even lead with the tattoo thing.
Yeah, glowing tattoo seems pretty obvious. I probably would have started with that one next time, eh?
In hindsight, yeah, but like at the time we're a bit stressed.
All right, yeah. You look, wait here. I'm gonna go with this group here. We're gonna try and catch up with Flick. How many more were there? A few of us? Lots of
quite
us?
a number, although there was a lot of injured, so it's probably going to take them a while to be moved here.
Okay, yeah, no worries. Yeah, I'll come with you then. Let's go.
Yeah, and we'll head back to, I guess, like the mine entrance or the furnace entrance.
That's
rather
where
than to...
Elakir has kind of paused, is right at the top of that staircase down.
Yeah. So we'll start making our way back.
While those two are gone, Lyra, Ember, Niles, what are the three of you doing? Elakir has paused for a moment. You can see they're looking around a little bit impatiently, aware that time might be of the essence right now.
I think Lyra's just sort of following Alekia, like just sort of like, oh yeah, you know, it's been so long since I've seen Lucky. Like, you know, she's just sort of probably pretty amped. She's like, yeah, let's get there. He's probably waiting for us.
I can't wait to finally meet him. I've heard many great things about him.
Stories I have heard of Sunmare's metal construct speak of an entity ever evolving, ever changing, its mind of metal.
He was a great hero of the guild we were a part of. He fought alongside many other adventurers and guild members to defeat Tiamat not that long ago, in the scheme of things.
Indeed.
Because he stayed behind as well. He's probably grown and changed even more than, you know, what you've heard or even thought was probably possible. I mean, because he remained while all the others, well, you know, went away.
I am impressed he has survived this long, although the amount of our alloy used to construct him would have paid for a small kingdom.
Is he made of the same alloy that the armor was created with?
Indeed, an earlier composition of it, balanced for lightweight, mobile use. We were advisors on part of the project. Sidmare came to us for 2 Stone Singers' assistance, developing this alloy's properties.
So did you say 2 assistants? Lockie and...
2 of us, 2 of the Stone Giant Stone Singers went to go and help in the original designs. She wanted to know the limitations of the alloy. That is why I know that our Stone Singers can weaken it, can disrupt it. She called it a stress test, I believe.
Did you have anything to do with the creation of the cores, or just the body bit?
The cores were the creation of the Cloud Giants and the Storm Giants. We were not consulted on such matters, though we were gifted one in the center of our city. Core that powers, without a more advanced mind within it. The Stone Giants were not fully trusting of these artificial souls. They are things of the dreaming, after all. A mind that dreams it is awake.
Interesting.
But we saw the value of the Heartstones.
The core that you said was in the city center, is it still there?
Yes. I believe your other companion, the small furry one who left with your feathered one, Harry, who carries Utnir's stone, he activated the core. That blast of energy, that was its power unleashed.
That's not where Lockie's gonna, you said that he's sort of gonna travel and arrive. That same spot, that's not where Lockie's going to arrive, is he?
Of course, it is a teleportation circle after all.
Oh.
Is that wise, considering some of the other conversations that we've had previously with someone named, the Archivist, and he was like, oh yeah, what if Lockie gets corrupted, and then maybe putting him on top of a, teleportation circle with another core that is also possibly corrupted might not be a great idea.
There is no mind within the core. It is a source of energy, nothing more. That rhymed really well.
Oh. So it's outside of the network, so to speak.
We were never ones to fully understand the technology the Storm Giants and Technomancy the Storm Giants and Cloud Giants spoke of. We only used it to power. I do not see there being any great risk. My understanding is that these things have to communicate directly. Even our Heartstones cannot just talk without intent.
Do you still have a connection to Lockie, to be able to talk to him, just like right now?
He watches.
Could you?
Utnir closes his eyes and focuses for a moment. No.
Could you potentially?
I cannot sense his presence. My apologies.
Well, I was going to say if we can warn him at all, just in case, but.
I mean, if what Elikir is saying is true, then it should be fine, I think. From what
he just said it himself. The Stone Giants weren't really all sort of, up to speed with, the whole technomancy cores, it was kind of just installed and used.
That's a good point.
It could be that there is something in that core and it just wasn't talking to them.
Although I would say that the only issue that has happened with the magic here has been our own influence with the Heartstones. Perhaps we are the issue.
Possibly. Etringer, can you talk to Sinmare?
You watch as he pauses as you call him Etringer. call them Etringer.
Oh, sorry. What did I call him?
Elikir. To be fair,
Elikia,
I'm
sorry,
throwing a
from
lot
the-
of giant names at you tonight.
Yeah.
And they all start with E's.
only
Elikia,
only
Etzringer.
Elikia and Etzringer. Utni is with a U.
Yeah.
It could be spelled EU.
It's not.
Good.
As you, yes. What do you ask of Elikia? Sorry.
If you can contact Sinmare, I just think it might be valid to just, if we can't warn Lockie, maybe if we could warn Sinmare, maybe she has a different way of contacting Lockie.
I think erring on
I'm
the
just
side.
worried about the two of them, the two cores creating some kind of conflict, or
I
it's
will
been so long
try.
since all this technology has been used.
I will try. When I tried to contact Sinmare before, I was unsuccessful. Watches Elikia pauses and closes his eyes. They're silent for a moment, and in this time you watch as Harry, Bart, Kongchi, and Gook tear down the main street before arriving right in front of you. Gook jumping off, like looking up at all of you and then looking around being like, Where is she? Where's she? Who's like...
The rest hadn't come up yet. We'll need to go past them and down into the furnace mines. That's where the injured are still being kept.
As soon as you guys arrive back, you watch as Elikia slowly opens their eyes, looks at you and goes, Ah, you have returned. We must hurry. Time is of the essence.
I'll be short. Harry, you don't have to come. Harry, you can stay here if you want to. I'm just going to quickly head down to the injured.
I'll stick with you just in case. What's his name comes back, so you don't make any deals.
Okay, Harry. And I'll race past them and down into the tunnels. I don't want to waste as much time as possible, but it's important.
As you take off with Gook and Harry on Kongchi, it's a very brief ride down the stone steps at high speed. Could you make me an animal handling check, please, Bart? Just to see how well you go, tearing through at hyperspeed down this slightly destroyed, decayed, and ruined staircase above a lake of lava. Don't roll a 1.
Harry's just on the back.
I think I fucked you there when I said don't roll a 1. That is a 1.
Oh no.
Oh no.
Right, I'm having a time in my life.
Wow.
As you take off
What could possibly go wrong?
it's not even a natural 1, it's a 2, but you've got a -1 to this, which makes it a 1. As you take off at high speed, you're not sure what exactly happens. 1 second, Kongchi is scrabbling over the stone, leaping into the air. The next second, you're falling. Whether it was a misplaced step, slipping bit of the stonework, you're not sure. But a moment after leaping over a very narrow, very tiny part of the chasm that really didn't need to be leapt over, stepping over if you'd been going at a normal pace would have been fine. A moment later, you suddenly feel yourself falling.
We'll be fine. In the blink of an eye with his new changes, in a sort of burst of leaves, very similar to how Dewey appeared, we're all going to teleport 60 feet to the staircase again.
Are you? What feature are you using?
This is Kongchi, bonus action, phase step.
Fantastic. Can Kongchi carry items being held as well? That's a good question.
The steed, along with its riders,
Riders,
appear in an
good. Good. As long as it was riders, that's what I wanted to double check. As there's this moment of weightlessness, you watch as Gook's eyes go wide as she grabs onto you, Harry, and looks you in the eyes as you drop over the edge. The lava below you, you feel this heat from it as it rises up, and then a second later, there's this momentary pull as you teleport back on top of the staircase and keep running. There's something in your hand, Bart, as you take this momentary step using Kongchi's phase sequence.
No.
A single leaf, oak leaf,
Oh, fuck.
wasn't in your hand
At
before.
least it's not a poop.
Yeah, that's true.
And a single oak
That's
leaf
not-
in your hand, and as you hold it up and look at it, you watch as it crumbles to dust and falls apart, rotting away before your eyes.
Oh dear. Okay. What does it mean? What does it mean?
As you get to the bottom of the
Okay, yeah,
staircase, in the interests of
continue
the interest of speed and expediency, as we get close to our mark, as you get to the bottom of the steps, you drop off Gook, who runs forward and grabs Flick into a massive hug. You can see that the rest of the survivors down at the forge levels are beginning to regroup, getting ready to head back up to the upper levels again. As the priestess comes forward and begins speaking to Gook, she sort of rapid fire begins listing off everything that's happening, especially on the surface. And you watch as the priestesses nod and begin gathering together all the survivors. Are you sticking around, Harry and Bart, or are you taking off?
I'm quickly, as soon as they sort of embrace each other and are talking over their shoulders to the priestess, I'm going to get off and, in the way of the theocracy, from having heavily transgressed, made horrible mistakes, errors, prostrating oneself, I'm going to arms and where usually wings as well would be spread on the ground. I'm going to go into like a
very deep bow.
Almost like how a Muslim prays, where they go into that laying position, knees forward, head on the ground, and rather than hands forward, the hands are going to be spread out to the side, feathered hands laying across left and right. I am, with all my heart, sorry. I was not paying attention, and with the lapse of judgment, made an error that nearly ruined this reunion. Gook, I'm sorry.
You watch as Gook turns, tears in her eyes, looks at you on the ground and goes, "Fuck are you talking about? Get the hell up, bird. She's here. She's fine. She's here. She's fine. She's okay." As she grabs Flick once again, you see Flick sort of like just bury herself in Gook's neck.
Oh, cute.
Okay. Are you sure?
Yeah. You fuckwit. She's alive. She's okay. I don't give a shit. She's okay.
There you go.
Okay. Thank you, Gook.
Covered in ash now. It's going to take a while to wash out of your feathers, isn't it?
Yes, it will. I'll hold the necklace and come up and give like the both of them a big hug. My large frame, I guess, like lifting both of them off the ground for a second. Good luck. I'll come and visit, and I'll drop them back down and head back to the horse.
Perfect. As you get back, Harry, are you doing anything while this is going on?
Harry never got permission to stand back up. Okay, Harry joins him.
As you join in on the hug as well, you can see Flick looking at you really curiously, and she reaches up and like just pats your head a little bit, just behind the ears.
That's cute.
Harry reaches around and pickpockets her.
I steal from the rich and the undeserving.
You watch as Harry leans into the hug. You watch as suddenly his bag of holding opens and a grey hand reaches out, grabs Flick, and pulls her into the night. I'm kidding. As you climb back on Kong-Chi and make your way up back to the surface, Lyra, Ember, and Niles, as Harry and Bart make their way back down into the forge levels, you watch as Elakir, like visibly impatient now, is sort of like looking around and then suddenly pauses and turns towards the center of the city. The three of you watch as there's a bright flash of light right from the very center, and then the darkness takes over once more.
Lyra's hustling, whether the giants and the others are going to come with her, she's taken off at a run. Like,
we're riding Kong-Chi still, right?
Yeah.
All the way there. Yeah.
As you begin taking off,
I needed to do that.
As you begin taking off, you watch as Elakir kind of watches you run away. Lyra looks back towards Ember and Niles and goes, "I am not sure her running on foot will make any difference at this stage. It is a large city, and she is very small."
Maybe we just pick her up on the way then. Can you swoop her up with your power?
It makes it feel better.
Of course. Such a thing is trivial. As long as she stays in line of sight and does not get lost in the busy streets, we should be able to find her easily.
Excellent.
You start running in zigzag patterns, right?
Burn section hide.
Like, you know, as long as like we saw like the burst of light, she's like straight beeline, just straight there.
Ember, what are you doing while this is going on?
I'm quite keen to get towards the flash of light as well, but knowing that we're going to be taken there and already been told it's much quicker, I haven't had that same reaction. Potentially would have been tempted.
He's using logic again. I see. Special skill.
Only episode slight happens occasionally.
Special skill rationality has been activated.
Nat 20. No, I could have potentially sent Flicker out to try and bring Lyra back, but if she's going to get caught anyway.
That's pretty funny. That's I love this idea of like taking off at a sprint and you like give it like you're like 1, 2, 3. All right,
and 15 feet back.
Flick, catch her.
I just give you a pat on the back and go, it's fine, we'll pick her up, don't worry.
Good. All right, well, turning around, have the other two caught up to us now?
A moment later, you watch as Harry and Bart burst up on top of the stairs, running on as Kong-Chi runs over vaulting the section of stonework and gets up next to you. As soon as you're there, you watch it as Lyra, a section of the ceiling near her, still in a bad state, crumbles and cracks, narrowly missing her head. As the same thing happens to Ali in the real world. What was that fell on you?
Oh, she
it's an antler
threw
from Cora?
a bone at me.
Cora threw the bone at you. Because Lumi has started to do that where she wants me to play fetch. She'll throw the ball at me now. But Lumi's only 3 kilos and like she's not that tall. Cora's how many kilos? 28? 30?
Holy shit.
Oh, she's a big girl.
Yeah. She's learned to throw other things too. I've got
Yeah.
stick often get thrown my way.
That's decent. That's a decent stick.
The best launch so far was she, because like I take her collar off while she sleeps. She grabbed it by the metal ring and flung that at me. It went 3 meters.
Wow,
that's pretty damn good. It's pretty damn good.
Lucky that didn't hit the TV or anything.
Crazy.
Cora is going to break something in your house. At some point.
Oh, she already has.
Yeah. As you get up to now I'm doing it. As you get up to Elakir, immediately watch the Elakir begins pulling the stone and shaping it, and then placing their feet at this wide sort of stance, and then striding forwards, the stone melting underneath their feet and pulling you along with them. A moment later, Lyra, as you're sprinting down the main streets, you get to a crossroads, turn and look up at one massive street, buildings 4 or 5 times taller than you are. Down the left-hand side, same story. You can't see the light anymore. You're like in this, essentially like a maze. And then a moment later, you feel a hand reach down, pick you up, and place you next to the others as Elakir begins stone walking up the side of the building as you were all like held in place, your feet kind of frozen in this stone as you kind of like, and then up on top begins moving forwards again, this massive stone hand pulling you along now. As you begin making your way back towards the center of the city, the light emanating from the very center of Tontanur, from that enormous dais that was in position. That initial flash has faded, but the whole area is glowing much more brightly than it ever has before. And you can see throughout the city those lights that had gradually come on after Harry had activated that dais. You can see them flickering in this pulsing pattern away from the central dais. And then a moment later, all the lights go dark and then full on once again, as there's this sudden pause, momentary pulse of light. The glow coming from the center of the city reveals a shape, a figure standing there, the light underneath illuminating them, casting this enormous shadow on the wall and ceiling behind them, making them look hundreds of feet tall. Metal gears, armor overlocking. And as you get closer, the light making it very hard to discern any real aspects of their appearance. You can hear the sound of clockwork tick, 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 as it ticks over. And then as the light begins to dim once more, Elakir brings you to a standstill right in front of the central dais. 20 feet tall. Metal armor covering most of his body. Polished, shiny and reflective. Gears ticking away under the surface. You watch as this enormous giant version of Lockie turns his head down and looks at all of you. An enormous hand, hundreds of kilograms, raises up, made of stone, and then waves. hello. And that is where we're leaving it off for today. Thank you so much for joining us tonight. I had to do a little bit of a thing. It's like, what's happened to Lockie? No, it's just Lockie. Hello. Hello there. I think is what he says, actually. That was Michael's go-to line, wasn't it? Hello there.
Right, yeah.
Awesome. Thank you so much for joining us, everybody. That is where we're going to leave things for tonight. For those of you watching on Twitch, don't go anywhere. We are going to go and raid a lovely channel. One of our friends. Who can we raid tonight? I'll bring it open. Looks like Dice Actors are doing some more D&D tonight. We gave them a raid last night, so let's go and raid someone new tonight. While I'm finding that, remember, if you're watching on YouTube or listening to the podcast, make sure you hit the like, subscribe button, leave a comment if there's like a follow, whatever it's called. I know most platforms have them. I think Spotify's got a thing where you can like add it to your library. Please do that. It really, really helps us out. And there is so much good stuff coming in this year. I am so excited to share some of the really cool new things that you're going to be seeing. It's going to be a really, really cool year. So stay tuned for 2025. We are going to have a lot of fun.
Oh,
yeah.
ATM.
Yeah.
Do we level up?
You leveled up just before this fight.
I thought we were leveling. Was that?
We leveled up to
It's been a
South.
while.
Yeah.
Did we?
Yeah.
What level are we?
8.
Level 8
Yeah.
right now.
Oh, yeah.
So
Cool.
no. It was my answer, if you were wondering. No. No. I'm happy to share now with you. Your level up reward for the Stone Giants. You're going to spend a bit more time at this level, and depending on where you choose to go next, I know that some of you are keen to go check out the Frost Giants. Some of you are keen to go check out the Fire Giants. I know as well there's a lot of stuff going on with the Aeris Theocracy. And I know as well that there's been some interest in checking out Balmir as well, the Dwarven.
That's putting it
region.
lightly.
And
Yeah.
shit's going down in the Feywild.
Yeah.
Shit is also going down in the
Side quests.
Feywilds.
Go find the bodybuilder.
There's also look, you know how much fun I have
Yeah.
playing
Wings
the Flesh
back.
Sculptor. I'm always happy to play the Flesh Sculptor again. That's one of my favorite characters that I've ever.
You mean the bodybuilder, right?
the bodybuilder.
Small little side quest to go and visit the flying zombie city.
Oh,
Oh, that'd be
Nocturnus. I'm going to give you this
Oh,
one for free.
Nocturnus.
You guys aren't ready for Nocturnus yet.
Oh.
Okay.
Look, you can absolutely
Go.
absolutely go and check out Nocturnus, but holy shit.
That's a little.
We just won't be coming back.
Pre-planned
Yes,
TPK.
That's a pretty crazy place. You're welcome to, but that's gonna be fun. Also, well, thank you so much, everybody. It has been absolutely wonderful sharing time with you tonight. Make sure that you stay safe, make sure that you stay well, and we will see you all again very, very soon. I will bring us across to VCuter. That's right. We've raided these guys before. Looks like they're on their episode 39 of their D&D campaign, so we'll go and raid them. Oh yeah, these guys have got some cool artwork. Yep, let's go and raid them. Thank you so much,
Nice.
everybody. Stay safe, stay well, and we will see you all again very, very soon. But until then, farewell, everybody. Goodbye. See ya.
Bye.